Dear students, good morning. Let's start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 19th March 2018. The first article, After the Drift, the Split. It is about BJP and TDP split, which is recently in news. Here we need to understand one word that is called competitive politics. So, most of the political parties are expected to respond to this competitive politics. In Andhra Pradesh, competitive politics between TDP and YSRCP has made the BJP-TDP alliance a bit of painful. And second aspect, competitive politics are very much important in evolution of the party system in India. So if you observe, in 1970s in India, competitive politics have started. So to be precisely stated, 1967. And by 1977, they took deep roots in India, especially North India. So the socialism has taken a populistic turn because of competitive politics. And second, these also have paid for multiple splits across the political parties. So defections, etc., are also a stated reason, are also an outcome of the competitive politics. These 2 points you need to remember over here. And then a stoppable juggernaut. So secularism is more becoming a political debate. So it's a constitutional or settled constitutional value. And in these circumstances, more than the political parties, people of India value for secularism. And for them it is non-debatable. And second, political parties try to politicize secularism, and secularism has become a debate between pro-Hindu and anti-Hindu. It is a narrow viewing of the issue. And second, what the voters today are voting for, it is not about the religious issues, it is more about the development and promise or achievement of development. So this is what is the stoppable juggernaut is trying to say to us. Dangerous spiral, it is about India-Pakistan relations. So India-Pakistan relations are taking a dangerous spiral with ceasefire violations and then diplomatic hatred. And third thing is terrorism, cross-border terrorism. So as diplomatic channels are becoming lost, there is no scope for the dialogue between these two countries. So probably the ceasefire violations can escalate to an extent where there will be no returns back. So this is what is the pain over here. With regard to diplomatic relations, Vienna conventions are very much important. Remember just Vienna convention, that's it. In plastics world, you know that the plastics are increasing all around and they are going to pose a serious healthcare threat to all of us. So how to stop this? We have to stop them at the source, at the production. And second is at the disposal. At the disposal, separation of the plastic is very much important. Recycling of the plastic we call it as. And solid waste management rules 2016 have clearly stated for this. So in this context, in Europe, there is a new development which we need to understand that is called as circular plastic economy. That is the new point which I found in this article. The circular plastic economy, it means that the changing of very nature of plastics from cheap and disposable to durable, reusable and fully recyclable. So this circular plastic economy, this kind we also need to adopt to ourselves. The next article, the Skripals in Salisbury. You know that a double agent was killed in UK. He was a Russian agent. It was accused that Russia's nerve gas is involved with this. And here previously I discussed that organization for prohibition of chemical weapons we need to focus upon. And the second thing is this diplomatic tangle is becoming worse. There is expulsion of diplomats on both the sides. And second, Russia is being accused of declaring a war on the Europe. So here remember few points. The UK is trying to show it as a muscle or a unity or to reconnect with the European Union after Brexit. That's how it appears. And second, especially the Iraq fiasco, if you see, there was no proof against Saddam Hussein and his weapons of mass destruction, chemical weapons. The Chilcot report has clearly stated that. The Chilcot report. Now, in diplomacy, knee-jerk reactions are unwarranted. The action has to be well thought out. So the today UK's action is more knee-jerk rather than well thought out. And second thing is, there are many regulatory loopholes in UK where many of the oligopoles are Many people who have got the ill-gotten money in Russia, they are coming and settling in London. So these loopholes have to be restricted so that illicit money do not enter into UK. That's what is more important. That is the article stresses on. And then, so coming to the news page, Act on Foreign Funds to Parties amended. So Foreign Contribution Regulation Act was amended, and according to this, any company which do not possess even 50% of shares of Indian company, a foreign company, it can even donate to the political parties. It means the definition of the foreign company was changed through the present finance bill. And second aspect is, it is retrogressively applied. It means the Delhi High Court has indicted both BJP and Congress for violating the Foreign Contributions Regulation Act. So that's why they have amended the law and retrospectively applied it from 1976. That is what is the point we need to note over here. And then, no power of choice for consumers. It's a very beautiful written article today. So, Electricity Act 2003, it talks about something called open access. So, what is this open access? Now, if you observe, the discoms buy around 2 rupees 50 paisa a unit of electricity, but they are selling it around 6 rupees. So, consumer, instead of buying from these discoms, why can't he directly buy it from a producer? So, providing this access directly from the producer, it is called open access. But the governments, especially state governments, have two problems over here. One is cross subsidization. So they try to raise the cost to the heavy user and subsidizes the poor people through cross subsidization. And the second thing is, most of this money, or else most of the discoms, they have over capacities, transmission capacities. So that's the reason why the open access surcharge exists. Because they already established the capacity and probably it may not be used, leading to losses to them. That's why open access surcharge is also created. So these two things, the state government subsidies, surcharges, these are limiting open access. And second thing, a new amendment is about to come for the Electricity Act. It is talking about content and carrier. So if you talk about national highway, we pay the toll and anyone, private or a public vehicle, can go through that. Similarly, electricity lines will also be like national highways, either public or private agencies. They can transmit the electricity through it and buy the electricity from it. So this is expected to change the situation with regard to electricity is concerned. And then a measure of manufacturing. This is related to the PMI, Purchase Managers Index, and Index of Industrial Production. Index of Industrial Production is talking about output. Purchase Managers Index, it talks about input. So the Purchase Managers Index is more, or else is quickly available data, and this Index of Industrial Production, it comes after a gap of 45 days. Both of them gives comprehensive information related to formal sector, but not to informal sector. And both of them are based on surveys. So the IIP talks about government, and Purchase Managers Index also takes into private sector into consideration. These are the differences. I'm expecting a question on Purchase Managers Index this year. Try to focus on that. And then the notes is given to you at laix.in/civils prep. Please go through that. Thank you very much and all the best.